you. Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to be here. Thank you for the invitation. So I have nothing to disclose. So quick background, despite the advances in surgical training and the overwhelming evidence that technical skills are best taught systematically, microsurgery remains an apprenticeship model. Considering the complexity of microsurgery and the consequences of failure, the lack of a standardized quantitative system to evaluate surgeon skills and provide feedback raises major quality control issues. And especially right now, the new trend in medical education is towards a competency-based training. Recognizing the importance of competency-based training, Dr. Selber and his group at MD Anderson published a validation of the structured assessment of microsurgical skills, the SAMS, and they applied it in a clinical setting on a cohort of microvascular fellows. So unlike many other robotic versions of open procedures, robotic microsurgery combines many of the same principles of conventional microsurgery, but has the additional skill set that is unique to the use of a surgical robot. So to capture this blend of skills, we created the structured assessment of robotic microsurgery skills. This is an evaluation system that combines two separately validated skill assessment instruments into a single evaluation instrument. So the SARMs include 3 parameters to assess conventional microsurgical skills, which are dexterity, visual spatial ability, and the operative flow, and 5 parameters to assess robotic skills, which includes camera movement, depth perception, wrist articulation, atraumatic tissue handling, and atraumatic needle handling. And it's graded from 1 to 5, and the overall performance and skill level are independently assessed. I don't expect anyone to read this slide, but this just shows you the layout of the SARMs. So in the upper 1/3, you've got the microsurgical skills and the 3 parameters that it assessed. And then the middle third, you've got the robotic skills. And then the lower 1/3, you've got the overall performance and the indicative skills. So the purpose of our study was to develop a validated assessment instrument for evaluation of robotic microsurgical skills and to assess the learning curve of these skills in a heterogeneous cohort. So we performed a prospective blinded cohort of 5 microsurgery trainees and 5 experienced microsurgeons. This was conducted at the University of Texas MD Anderson Cancer Center between November 2012 and June 2013. So after enrollment, we asked all the participants to complete the short survey just to assess demographics and a few things that we thought that might have an influence on the acquisition of robotic microsurgical skills, such as previous experience with laparoscopic surgery, video gaming, or robotic experience. So in terms of the study design, this consisted of 10 participants completing 5 timed video recorded robotic microvascular stenosis using the Da Vinci robot. The microvascular stenosis was performed on a 3 mm synthetic polyurethane vessel. So in terms of the setup, so all of these sessions were conducted in an actual operating room using a robot that was used in daily clinical setting. So as you can see, the robot has 3 articulating arms, 2 for the 2 black diamond forceps, and the 3rd one for the POTS micro scissors. And a high definition 0-degree endoscope was mounted on the camera arm. And this was all performed on a green platform where the 3 mm synthetic vessel was placed using 9.0 nylon. This is video that's a bit sped up. But so each of the participants were asked to do an end-to-end anastomosis using the 0180 technique by placing a stitch at either end of the anastomosis and then 3 stitches in between on the anterior and posterior surface. So it was 8 stitches in total. Okay, so before using the SARMs to evaluate the study population, we had to validate the SARMs. So we did this by taking 6 videos that were de-identified and rated by 4 blinded expert evaluators. The inter-rater reliability was tested. So in order to test the inter-rater reliability, we used the Cronbach Alpha and Kappa, and these are the values for each skill area. I'd like to draw your attention to the overall performance and the indicative skills over here. You can see that the Cronbach Alpha score was 0.9 and 0.9 for indicative skills, and the Kappa score, which basically assessed the agreement between the raters, was 0.6, which means it's an acceptable agreement. So the primary outcomes of our study were changes in time required to complete an anastomosis for each participant over the 5 sessions, and the trends in the SARM scores for each skill area for each participant over the 5 sessions. So in results, 9 participants successfully completed 5 robotic-assisted microsurgical anastomotic sessions. The length of the operative procedure ranged from 9 to 44 minutes. And you can see over here, so this is just the demographic characteristic of the participants. And this just shows you all the skill areas and overall performance improved significantly for each participant over the 5 robotic-assisted microanastomosis sessions. And this just shows you that the operative time here decreased over the study for all participants. We found that prior experience with conventional microsurgery did in certain areas improve acquisition of technical proficiency using the robotic system, especially the camera movement. So this just shows you over here that prior experience with microsurgery improved the use of a camera. However, what we found that prior experience with laparoscopic surgery or even video gaming had no effect on the acquisition of robotic microsurgical skills. All participants demonstrated an ability to gain proficiency in robotic microsurgical anastomosis with minimal robot-specific training. However, this study, this is one of the limitations of our study, that this study only examines the technical proficiency for robotic-assisted microsurgery. It does not address the operative judgment, nor does it address the clinical experience of trained microvascular surgeon. In conclusion, the structured assessment of robotic microsurgical skills, the SARMs, is a valid instrument for assessing robotic microsurgical skills with good inter-rater reliability. The SARMs, we believe, is the first evaluation system of its kind that will help serve as a guide to robotic microsurgical credentialing, as well as training endpoints for robotic microsurgical curriculum. This was published last year in the PRS. Thank you.